was Christmas Day of 1996, and all seemed normal. With Christmas songs and decorations, it was as festive as a medical facility could be under the circumstances. For patients and their visitors, Christmas gave them something positive and joyful, if only for a moment, in a place mostly known for recovering from illness, but also a place that became the final destination for many. Little did those patients and visitors expect what was about to happen on the day after Christmas, when Kempton Park Hospital would be abandoned by all medical staff in a single day, a mere 18 years since it opened. And the patients? Well, those with family or friends were picked up and moved to other hospitals. But some were seen leaving in their hospital gowns, looking helpless and lost with nowhere to turn. And for those unfortunate few, dependent on frail care or life support, who knows? Some speculate that they now walk the dark and silent corridors of a hospital that was their final hope, but became their final resting place. As we walk into the doctor's offices of this facility, one name is in the back of our minds, a person by the name of Andre Esterhazen, a high school dropout with an extremely high IQ and a fascination with medical books and procedures, posed as a pediatrician from 1982 to 1990, treating thousands of patients in this very hospital. Several babies died under his care, and in 1992 he was convicted of several counts of culpable homicide, impersonating a doctor and defrauding patients. An 18-year prison sentence was given to then 41-year-old Esterhazen. And so, the urban legend of Dr. Death was born. Even though he might still be alive, the very thought of what he had done left a legacy of anguish and terror that would become synonymous with the image of Kempton Park Hospital. One thing is certain: the skeletons in Dr. Death's closet became the dark shadow apparitions and the disembodied cries that are now part of one of the most haunted places in South Africa. With the urban legend of Dr. Death, the pretend pediatrician in our minds, it's only fitting that we come across the children's ward. A real sense of dread fills the air, and there is an atmosphere that I can only describe as extremely heavy, hopeless, and sad. Some urban explorers and paranormal investigators told us of an apparition that can sometimes be seen at the nursing station, of a female figure crying over her baby. They also say that sometimes one can feel a child clenching your hand as you walk down the passage. As we step into one of the rooms, we were discussing these stories and also what we might find. While editing this episode and reviewing our footage, we discovered that a child's cry can be heard in the background. Here is a replay with enhanced audio of this eerie discovery. The security that guards this premises under government contract confirmed that we were the only 2 people in the hospital at the time. One thing is certain: in the children's ward, light and shadow plays on the walls and plays tricks on one's mind. We decided that it was time to go up a level to one of the general wards. With more sunlight beaming through the dirty and broken windows, you would think that it would be less eerie, but you would think wrong. A random bang gave us the fright of our lives.
Wat is dit?
Turns out it was just a door slamming in the wind. For a moment we found it funny, because at least we're at a hospital if we get a heart attack. But soon reality kicks in again, as one realizes that in the many stories of hauntings, apparitions, shadow figures, disembodied voices, cries, growls and whistles, at least some of these stories might be true. Again, stepping into a room, expecting nothing. But upon reviewing our footage while editing this episode, we discover what can only be described as an ominous growl, which we did not audibly hear in that moment. Here is a replay of this incident with enhanced audio. Now leaving this area behind and looking forward to finding surgery with its numerous operating theatres and also several rumours of shadow apparitions filled us with a feeling of cautious excitement. treading into surgery shows how vast this place is, with at least 6 operating theatres lining a very dark passage. With most equipment long gone, overhead surgery lights and other bits of equipment still lay scattered around. How many people's lives were saved in these theatres? How many people closed their eyes here for the final time? A haunting thought indeed. At one stage, I could clearly hear footsteps behind me while filming one half of this floor by myself. Unfortunately, the camera never picked up the audio of these footsteps, but it still haunts me to this day. Being just urban explorers, not paranormal investigators, we don't really focus on hauntings and paranormal activity, but just strolling through these dark hallways, empty rooms, and eerie spaces is enough to convince me that the ghost stories of Kempton Park Hospital is more truth than fiction. By now, we were looking forward to gain access to the roof for some fresh air and a break before we head downstairs into the belly of the beast to explore the kitchen, the dark basement, and the morgue. If you want to see if we survive the next episode, remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to join us as we enter the bowels of darkness and capture 2 recordings that will haunt me every time I think back on Kempton Park Hospital.